I'm going to jump straight in because I've got loads to cover tonight. And of course, I am talking about video, the power of video, and how important it is to integrate it into your marketing. Before I actually go into it, I'm currently looking at my camera, at my lens, we'll be talking about. I will be looking away and looking at my screen to actually read through some of my notes. So apologies if I don't look at you all the time. Please make sure you've got me on speaker view because I will be playing some video edits as well along the way. So to get started, why use video? I'm not going to read through all of those statistics. There's loads of them there. But the key ones that I know some of you have heard me talk about before, 85% of online content is now video. So it's so important to actually start learning to use, learning to get confident, if you like, on camera and just getting, used to being on video. Number three is the statistic that always gets me, that 1 minute of video is worth 1.8 million words, which is huge. And also about the fact that when you're watching a video, you are 95% more likely to retain that message than if you're just reading a text or an image. And you imagine how much content we are bombarded with every single day. That's quite a huge statistic to bear in mind. If you've got a website, and most of us do, 64% of visitors to your landing page are more likely to actually watch a video than they are going to be reading any words. So again, if you've got a website, you're investing a lot of money into it, really do consider getting a video on your front page. And if you're not sure about LinkedIn, video campaigns get around 50% video views. So it's videos across the board. It's pretty much across every single social media and digital channel is where it's at. So, and one key thing which I'm going to come on to a little bit later, 85% of Facebook users watch video with no sound on. I know at the moment we're not commuting the way we used to. Hopefully we'll be released soon if we can. But if you've ever been on a train in or out of London, you'll see everybody with headphones on their phones, looking at it. They don't watch it with sound on. So it's really important to get some captions on there. YouTube is also the second most popular search engine behind Google. And I just put this comment on. I did another presentation. Highest earner on YouTube and $29.5 million last year. Obviously, it's an American. He's 9. I mean, seriously, come on. Another reason, a huge reason actually for video as well, is it likes, or the algorithms, if you like, and I'm sure if you're using social media, you'll have heard that word algorithms several times, and we're always trying to beat the algorithms. But if you are putting out video content, it tends to get much higher engagement, boost the algorithms, and will boost your reach on Facebook, especially on lives, and also on Instagram and on different channels. So a little bit about who I am and who we are. I say we because there's 2 of us that work within my business. I've been in marketing 26 years now, spent 22 years in the corporate world, mainly in leisure, got to boardroom level before becoming self-employed 5 years ago. My colleague, Jeremy Rackham, who you will see in one of the videos, is the video expert. He's a videographer. He's got 20 years post-production experience and is brilliant at coaching people to build confidence in front of the camera. Some of you on here have met him already, but that's who we are. And we pretty much run a full service marketing and video consultancy, helping small to medium sized businesses make money through the marketing and reduce some of the overwhelm. I'm talking fast, I've got lots to cover. So if you're not using video, why not? The biggest reason I hear, especially when I'm talking to predominantly female business owners, is they don't feel comfortable in front of the camera. They have a fear about being on camera. And let's face it, I know today is International Women's Day, but we are our own worst critics. We look at every line, every wrinkle, what our hair looks like. We know what the roots and the lockdown hair at the moment. Do you know what? It doesn't matter. People are looking at you because you're the expert in what you do. So people want to hear from you. Don't ever forget that. You are the expert. So it is about trying to build on techniques to build your confidence. The more you see yourself on camera, the more you start liking what you see on camera, the more you'll be inclined to do more video, essentially. So it is a question of facing the fear, and the more you do of anything, the more confident it becomes. It is one of the best ways to grow your personal brand. It shows who you are. And at the moment, obviously, we're not able to go face to face, but even when we can meet people in person, your target audience has probably grown, I would imagine, during the lockdown, because you can obviously do a lot more now online. So, you're not going to be able to get to see every single one of your ideal clients face to face. So video is the second best option you've got. And it creates much more of an emotional connection than a picture or a text, because when you're on the camera, you can see your personality, you can see the passion for what you do. and you just pick up on people's energy. And it really helps to build the know, like, and trust factor. And I talk about this a lot, because if people get to know you and they like you, they'll start trusting you. And once you've got that emotional connection, they're far more likely to give you that inquiry, which could lead to your next piece of business and your next client. People do buy from people, but I don't really say much more about that. And it helps develop you as a leader in your field. The more you're out there, the more you're putting your opinion pieces out there, it really elevates your credibility. Consistency is key on any marketing. That's obvious, really. But in terms of preparation for your videos, I'm not going to start going into ideal client. That's another presentation, but you will know who your ideal clients are, know your audience. If you're doing a pre-recorded script, or even if you're doing a live, do write a little bit of a script beforehand. It helps to focus your attention on what you're talking about. You have 3 seconds to make an impact on a social media post, whether it's video or even whether it's an image. Actually, it's 3 seconds. That's all you have. So keep it short. I usually say about 1 minute maximum, especially on social media. You can do maybe 2 minutes on website, but do remember people's attention spans are really, really small. And that's because of all the content we do see every single day. Choose your locations and have fun with it. When we do music videos, we have such fun creating a storyboard. It's like going back to school and being back in the art lessons. Now, I'm lucky, I guess, I've got access to thousands of pounds worth of equipment, but you don't need hugely expensive cameras and lighting rigs, etc., to make professional looking videos. You can use your mobile phones, and mobile phones are getting better and better all the time with every single upgrade that comes out. There are key things that I'm going to talk to you now about in terms of techniques that will help you build your confidence, help build those techniques, really maximize your brand so you look the best you can look and come across the best you can on video. Okay, so mobile phones. You normally have 2 lenses at least on a mobile phone. So I've got an Android, so you've got one middle one here, which you can hopefully see. And on the back of this one, this is a new Galaxy, I've got about 5, I think, on here. So you will get significantly more light and a clearer picture if you use your rear lens of your mobile phone, okay? If you use the front lens, and let's face it, if we're doing selfies, we always use the front one and we have it up here, don't we? But it will pixelate your face a lot more. It will distort your face more, and I'll show you examples in a minute. So try to practice using the rear lens of your rear camera of your mobile phone. You can get little tripods on Amazon, $12.99 they start from, or if you've got a partner or a child or son or daughter at home, he can actually take the photos for you. Just play about with it, see what works, but you will look much, much better using a rear camera. And if you're using Windows on a PC, don't forget to use a camera app. You can take photos and actually practice, see what you look like. Lighting is critical. It is absolutely critical. If you watch TV programs where you've got a presenter on screen, whether it's news or Place in the Sun or whatever it is, next time you watch them, have a look at the eyes. There is a saying that it's something, I think, is that the eyes are the window to the soul or something along those lines. You're always drawn to people's eyes. So you always want to get what's called the twinkle. So it means your eyes need to be really well lit, because that's what people are drawn to. Have a play about with lighting. Now, a lot of people ask, should we get ring lights? Our usual answer to that is no. Don't get a ring light unless you get a very expensive one, a pretty big one, and have it not completely in front of you. The way we set lighting up at the moment, the way my office is set up, I've got a light on each side of my face here, and I have one in front of me, but it's slightly above, so it's not right face onto my face, and that helps to keep my face flatter. And I'm also quite a fair distance from the camera. The lights we use, again, are from Amazon. They're strip lights, LED strip lights. They are $27.99. So again, not a huge amount of money. And if anyone wants the link, I'm happy to send that on to you afterwards. Ring lights as well will often give you an actual ring in your eyes, and that's not ideal. You can usually tell when someone's using a ring light. So if you have got ring light, just play about with it. Maybe move it to a slight angle, but do check your face, check you're really well lit, and it will also help your camera to focus on you as well. If you're using your mobile phone, try to go landscape rather than portrait. And that last but one point there about the pulsing. If you don't light yourself up really well, You imagine a small lens of a camera, it is tiny. I'm actually using a Sony camera, so my lens is about so big, but I'm looking at you on now. So it's letting in much more light. But if you are using a tiny little lens like that, it's struggling, it's fighting to work out, what do I focus on? So if you are moving, and I talk with my hands, I'm quite animated, but if you're not very well lit, it will start pulsing and flaring and going out of focus, which you may have seen before in the past, because it just can't work out what to focus on. You need to make yourself the main focus. Even if you don't want to, you need to be that well lit and frame yourself. Try and get yourself as centrally in the frame as possible. And I'll show you an example of that in a minute. So there's some images here you'll see. This is actually Jeremy's middle son, who's an actor or drama student. But you can see they were taken from with the front lens of a mobile phone. The one on the left, he looks bored, looks disinterested. He's looking down at the lens. The middle one, he's further back, but he's still looking down. His face isn't very well lit. So again, he just doesn't look interested. And the one on the right-hand side, the third one, is too much light. So it's almost coming in and kind of just creating a horrible, horrible look on the side of his face. And if you look at the way it's going onto his forehead, it almost makes his head look egg-shaped. So it actually will distort the way you look. And obviously we don't want that. With the rear camera, that's the difference. He's commanding the presence. You can see his eyes are really well lit. And it just looks much, much better. And that's taken with the rear camera. So some practical examples. Just going to play you, this is actually, I'm going to introduce you now to Joe's Rackham. He's on this video. He's done this little piece for me today, just to show you a little bit about camera angles. I'm just going to play this now for you.
Yeah, you know it, the Zoom call comes in, you're sitting on the sofa, you think, right, I'm comfortable now, put the laptop on the coffee table and flip it up, and this is what you see. It's all wrong, isn't it? Colours are wrong, things are too bright, focus is probably in and out, you might be shifting comfortably, it's not central, perspectives are wrong, and it's not comfortable for the viewer. Neither is this shot. So this is where the device is too high and too far away and at a funny angle again. And if I was moving my hands around with gestures, you wouldn't see them anyway. And the temptation is to feel like you're dipping out of the way, and it can be a confidence thing. And that's not what you want to do. Sacrifice your confidence on screen. So again, you don't look comfortable. The set around you doesn't look comfortable. And the viewer doesn't feel comfortable. Neither. In this situation, you are too far away. And the camera will pulse slightly. Sometimes you'll see color flares, you'll see things where it just pulses out of tone, it flares, it's just nasty. And there's too much, it's too busy anyway. So people can't focus comfortably on you anyway and feel like they're in the same comfortable space with you. So this is what you want. Isn't that better? You are filling the screen that way. Your proportions and everything is much more comfortable to feel that you're sitting across a table with your client or your customer. There is room to breathe. There's room to move. You can move forward a little bit. You can have natural movement. Room to gesture. 70% of body language is in communication. This is what you want to attain. Your confidence and comfort and how relaxed you are. That will make your viewer feel exactly the same, and you build up a rapport and enthusiasm, and they're connecting with you. And that is good video presentation. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm now going to move on to some personal presentation. I've got a couple of very short little edits to show you, showing design again. And when I talk about personal presentation, I mean how you come across on camera, because again, on TV, if you've ever done any media training, you'll be told to actually almost animate yourself a bit more than you would do normally. You might feel a little bit silly, but if you are very almost apologetic for yourself, it really comes across. So this is showing a kind of more introverted way of being almost apologetic for yourself on camera.
My name is Joe Rackham. I went to college. I'm a singer, actor, dancer. I've done performances in college. Monologue, group work, Captions. I've done music videos, small films with my brother. Like that.
So you can see there, he was just apologetic. He was just, really not sure kind of how to sort of come across. This is the opposite extreme. This is tongue in cheek, but hopefully it'll make the point of how to be animated.
So from the picture, your picture, and I want to stay in the picture. I'm an actor, dancer, singer, and model. A lot. So if you give each a card, click on the link below. Now, see the block also. Everyone, hi.
Now, again, I'm not suggesting you start doing impressions, but hopefully that gives you an idea that you need to sort of feel confident, and animated, and smile and have that energy, which is what I'm coming on to now. Show your personality, smile, just enjoy it, even if you're inwardly really hating it. Just look like you're enjoying it. I mentioned before, you've got 3 seconds to hook the viewer. Your lens technique is really, really important. So like I said before, I have 2 monitors. I'm looking at the camera. On Zooms, this is really hard because when I can normally see everybody on a Zoom, I have it on you guys on this monitor here. Now, if I was to look at you, I would be talking like this. But obviously at the moment, I'm not actually looking at you. I'm looking at my monitor. So I'll probably look quite disinterested. So it's really, really key to keep looking at the lens, especially if you're doing a pre-recorded video. Just use a coffee cup, if you like, and sort of put it up somewhere and practice looking into that coffee cup. You will feel silly doing it, but it's, again, the more you do, the more you get used to doing it. But it's so, so important to engage with your audience. Your audience is the other side of that lens. So just keep that in mind. I always end with the call to action in your videos. If you are somebody who likes to walk outside and do video out and about, I would really, really suggest investing in a gimbal for smartphone. They're about £60 and it stops that juddering as you're walking, because that can make people feel seasick as they're watching it. Zoom backgrounds, they're not quite so used as much as they were when I first put the presentation together. Just be a little bit careful, because if you're wearing green, you can completely knock yourself out. Try and have a plain background if you possibly can, because again, the emphasis needs to be on you. Audio, never stand more than 18 to 20 inches away from the microphone, otherwise the sound will just be dreadful. Test it, check it. Sound has got to go across all 4 walls within a room. And if you're outside, obviously you've got wind, noise, and etc., etc. I do talk very fast, but if I talk really slowly, you'd be asleep within 30 seconds. So just try to get your talking at a good balance and try to get comfortable with it. If you are looking to invest in a microphone, there's some brands down there. Some people use a pop filter for the P if you're doing podcasting, which is shown on the picture there. Again, it depends really how much video you're gonna do. I just got a small microphone. I don't think you can see that at all. £25 from eBay, and it works fine. Some people ask about editing. Editing is a beast, I'll be honest with you. The professional software that Jeremy uses is the Adobe Premiere Pro, which is a huge piece of software. I'm not suggesting you guys get used to doing that. If you are looking to make a pretty, comprehensive video, do get professional in. There's a number of apps there that I've listed that are great for editing. And again, if you're using Windows, there's a video editor app already in there, and it's really easy just to slice bits up and edit them together. Subtitles or captions are really important. Like I said before, in terms of people watching videos with sound off, be very careful using some of the automated caption software. It doesn't always pick up the words, especially if you are speaking fast or you don't enunciate the words completely. You'll end up maybe saying something you don't want to say. So you can actually, what we do is we type the captions in frame by frame to make sure that they are absolutely correlating with the way your mouth moves as well. Okay, so remember data protection permission, that's pretty obvious, but do remember that. Film in public places, be careful who's around. Obviously children, do not get any children in videos. Music, you can get obviously copyright-free music, or you can get an underscore written for you, but be very careful about royalty fees. Just check before you sign up. If you are hosting videos on YouTube or Vimeo, Vimeo is better quality. And I would always say, when you're making a professional video, if you think it's going to be done in an hour, forget it. It's going to take a lot longer. Always takes a lot longer than you think you're going to take. So how to use video in your marketing? There are so many ways, and you probably know most of these anyway, but just video posts, general video posts on Facebook, there are certain criteria and lengths and restrictions per channel. For example, obviously you probably know Instagram, we can only do 60 seconds on the main grid. Then you go to IGTV, which is up do. I think it's about 15 minutes, or if you've got a certain account, you can do 30 minutes. Reels, I'm not a huge fan of Reels, I'll be honest with you. They're 15 to 30 seconds long. The reason I'm not a fan of Reels is because I've seen so many people coming on and just doing this and pointing to pieces of text. And I'm sorry if any of you have done that. Great when it first started, it's just getting a little bit samey now. So if you're going to use Reels, and Instagram algorithms will like you for it, just be creative, you know, have some fun with it, do something a little bit different. Obviously, YouTube is a huge channel. If you are going to do a number of videos, you can create a YouTube channel in a few minutes. Do that and actually try and get people to subscribe to it. Know your channels, measure which channels that you're using, where videos are more engaging, if you like. I tend to post videos mainly on Facebook, mainly on Instagram, some on LinkedIn. I don't tend to post that many to Twitter. That's my personal preference, as I use Twitter for different reasons. Do go live. Facebook do like it when you go live because you tend to get more engagement, which boosts your posts up to, a bigger reach within your group or within your Facebook page. And Facebook business pages are very, very hard to get organic reach. How-to videos are showing someone how to do something is actually one of the most popular video posts on Instagram. So if you have a product, demonstrate it, show it, and video yourself doing it and pop that on Instagram. Be consistent. It's like anything. If you go hell for leather and post loads of content for a month on a particular social media channel and then let it drop by another month, forget it, you're just wasting your time. So if you're going to use video, and hopefully you will, just even start once a week, just get something out and get it out consistently, because people will actually start to to look out for it. Be yourself, just be emotive and be real. One thing I do say is I actually invested over £1,000 in a course last year when during lockdown, because the coach I worked with was on my Facebook feed 4 days a week on video, telling me about the course. I got to know her. I got to sort of get to know what her personality was like. I saw that she was completely straight, very direct like me, and I would not have invested that money if it had just been images and text and written. I wouldn't have done that. So video is really, really powerful. To build your confidence further, we do offer one-to-one video coaching via Zoom. Some of you guys I know on here have done that already, but that's very much a bespoke, real deep dive into your business, who you are, what your equipment is, your locations, and you get recommendations that you can take away, implement straight into your business. And I can send you links if you are interested in those. And there's just some of our social media links as well. I'll pop those in the chat afterwards. So I'm going to breathe now and say that's it. Any questions?
Marvelous. Thank you very much.